Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and better late than never, Milwaukee just showed up with a couple of pliers wrenches on their tool listing. This is the 5-inch version of the part number 48226906. They also have a slightly larger one. You might notice a couple differences. First, the front end is a little different. Second, it has a clip, belt clip, pocket clip, right here, and a tether hole, which I wonder if that significantly reduces the strength of the jaw, or I mean of the handle there. We'll get into that. But anyway, better late than never. Lots of other companies have it. It's pretty crowded space. In fact, in the full-size one, I've got an Olsa, Craftsman, Icon, Lennox, Knipex. Knipex makes a whole range of sizes. This is the smallest pliers wrench here that I know of. But this is a good size. It's a fun EDC size. Now in the past, this was about the closest that they had. This was their tongue and groove with flat jaws. And this wasn't too bad, and they had kind of reaming handles on these things. Some people loved them, some people hated them. They did have this one here with the push button. They must have learned something, because this obscenely huge push button about doubles the thickness of the plier. I don't know what they were thinking there. But anyway, so that's the new push button here. A lot smaller. It also is fairly smooth, but the push button really is spongy. It doesn't have a lot of resistance. In fact, I held it up, kind of pushing. I'm only holding one handle, but you can just see how easily the Knipex button pushes it in. So in a sec, I'll probably pull this spring out and check and see if I can tighten it. First I thought maybe they just used a really thin piece of metal there, but it looks very similar to the Knipex thickness, so I'm just going to rebend that. I've had to do that here, and on some of the EDC ones I've rebent it to make it a much harder push, just to tighten things up. But anyway, it's supposed to have the range of, essentially 0 to about 1 1/16 inch. And you can see the jaws are a little bit different. If I open both of these up, you can see the design is different. The depth is actually deceiving. This is more than the Knipex, even though these jaws look smaller. So at least on the top end, kind of interesting. You can see that the Knipex is not hitting. Kind of surprised me there. I think everybody else probably looks, and it looks kind of tiny. Could be that there is this little indentation in there. Where is that? I guess has the same indentation. I don't know. Kind of interesting. Comes in this black oxide finish. Prices are all over there, all around, but it's not Work Pro inexpensive. It's closer to the Knipex. And it was made in South Korea, which I mentioned when I did the video on this slip joint Milwaukee, another one of their new releases. Welcome to, I think this is the first slip joint they've got. But anyway, I had mentioned too bad it wasn't made in the United States, and there were several comments that Milwaukee isn't making hand tools in the US anymore, and they are actually, not very many, and they're well branded. So they've got some cutters, they've got some linemen, some other stuff, screwdrivers. So they do in fact have USA made tools, but again, not this one. One thing with these is they can get a little temperamental on the ratcheting function. We're going to check that out. So one of the pliers wrench advantages, besides this increase in torque, is you can let up on the grip and rotate it. And this one actually fits this bolt great. The reason I say they sometimes don't is depending on the bolt, you can get it caught sort of in between. And it doesn't rotate as well. We'll see. So here's one. Whoops, that one should loosen up just fine. So I can turn it, loosen, turn, loosen. So that's working just fine. Let's go to a big one, pushing the limit of this thing. Whoops. Yeah, so that one's working across all. So they've got the geometry dialed in on this little guy. So let's talk about a couple of the other features. You can get it with or without the belt clip. There's a small price difference. Actually, it's not a belt clip. It's not a pocket clip really, because it would hang out in sort of the middle. My guess is, and where I'm going to find out, is that this may keep it suspended in a tool bag pocket so it doesn't drop down, because it's too small. And speaking of small, while I've got you here, some people had asked about the Milwaukee 1/4 inch ratchet, how that compared to the new Icon. And yes, this is the new Icon. You can see it's stamped with them. They probably did that there to make sure that I don't pull another joke showing you one I made. But anyway, you can see here is the length difference. Here is the thickness, really close. So anyway, there it is. I like the design here, the snap-on kind of handle. It does fit your fingers well. And remember, this is designed for working out and, you know, way out at the edge of your fingertips. Milwaukee's feels heavier. It's not bad, but you slide off this compared to having that little hook, and that's why I was always cutting them at a certain size so you knew where that was, because that's really a good indexing. But anyway, so it also has this tether hole here. That's literally what they're calling it. It's a place to put like an or split ring, and then if you're working at height and you don't want to drop your pliers, or have them hit the ground anyway when you do drop them. But I started looking at that, and there's my finger. I mean, this is not a large amount of metal here. So now it has gone down. Would you trust the handle if it was only that wide? You know, this one little arm wide, or that arm wide. So I'm wondering how easily that would break off. You know, would it? I don't know. So we'll have to see. You shouldn't be able to generate that much force. I don't know. I can try here. Maybe I'll put something in it to and see. What if I did on camera? Then I better get this take right. Yeah, I'm not getting any real deflection feel there. So maybe it's plenty strong. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to this thing. So I'm going to take out, this is a County-Com brass 1/4-inch driver. People have been asking. I love it. I just set it up with this little thing here. People are asking about these inserts. I don't have the name for the County-Com thing yet. I will soon, but they made a pen caddy like this, and now they've got inserts to hold these bits, and it's just super sweet. So I've got my little kind of knife set up there. But what I'm going to do is just pop this off. If only I had pliers that could hold something flat. Oh, hey, look at all these. So I might just grab that there, line that up. Maybe grab another one. Probably could use the Milwaukee, since that's who's going to eat. Oh, careful. That's right, I just took the thing out of it. Alrighty. I'm going to get a longer one. How long is that? That might work. This little Knipex. This is kind of an equivalent. In fact, that's kind of interesting. That hits right there. And this is a 125. This is like a 122. And yeah, that's about the same. I guess it's just deceiving. Maybe it's the black and white. So I need this to push. It's going to be here. That's where it's going to be pushing down. So what do I tip that way? Or that way? This way. I need a bigger one. There we go. Is that it? Let's try it. So, is that going to hold it? Whoops, any better. Hit it upside down. Is it? I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Let's see. I might bend it just a little bit more. Probably do it by hand. Nope. There we go. Let's try that. That's going to be nice and EDC worthy because of all of that. Got a cat that wants in. Here's me playing with toys. Alrighty, so let's see if that makes difference. Ah, much better. So that's the first thing you're going to want to probably do is tighten that up. So then now it feels better. Anyway, there it is. The little 5-inch pliers wrench in black oxide from Milwaukee. Kind of a neat tool. A lot of people are interested in the pliers wrench. I know there was kind of the argument about the best EDC. It wasn't an argument until I guess I started it saying, nope, I think the pliers wrench is the way to go. But I do believe that there's just so much you can do with this kind of leverage and range, you know, in a standard EDC kit. Maybe somebody should try screw extraction on these things. That would be really good. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you got one, or if you even want one. And if you would get the this clip thing on it too. I did try to carry it around. It's kind of obnoxious because this much of it sticks up out of your pocket. I mean, because it's a one-way clip here. But I figure it's just for a tool bag or something to just keep it handy but visible. In the pocket clip idea, you want it to slide down and get out of the way. This thing obviously would probably get knocked out of your pocket. And this is a really short clip, so my guess is it's just to keep it inside the, or maybe on the outside or just inside but hanging of a tool bag pocket. Maybe somewhere else. Let me know your thoughts. And with that, Doc out.